Hi, this is Cora from the Holler to the World, and I wanted to jump on here today and give a very special video for my daughter, Susan. She is my firstborn, and I have to start with a little story, of course, because I love stories. I was this 19-year-old girl, fresh off the farm. I had gone to Morehead State University, met this handsome guy, CL, and we had fallen in love. And he went to the Army and was stationed in Germany. And I stayed in Kentucky with his parents for a little while and then got my own little apartment in the housing project, which was very nice. And I lived there by myself while he was gone. And I was pregnant with Susan. Well, one night I woke up and I could tell something was going on. And I had already started into labor. And it was a big snow on outside. So I put on my coat and I put on my boots and I sat down in a chair. Well, I had a neighbor next door to me and she was always keeping an eye on me and wondering what I was doing. Well, I did not want her help then. I was kind of scared. I didn't know what to do. I lived about 3 or 4 blocks from CL's mom and dad. So I put on my boots and I put on my coat and I got my little suitcase and I didn't have a phone. And so I sat there and I waited, and I knew CL's dad went to work at 4:30 in the morning at the Carnation. So I said, well, I'm going to wait. And then when she goes back to bed, my little neighbor, I'm going to get out and start walking. So about 4:30 in the morning, it was dark. And so I got out and I walked the 3 or 4 blocks in the snow and went up to Mama and Papa's house. And I knew Mama would be up getting Papa ready for work. And so anyway, I walked up the hill in the snow, which was really deep, and carrying my suitcase and my little pregnant belly. And so I got there and I was having some labor pains. And so she could tell by looking at me, she's like, oh, she was go ahead and fix breakfast and fix Papa's lunch. And CL's brother Ronnie was there. And he came in the living room and he sat in a chair and he just sat there and stared at me like that. And he finally hollered and said, Mommy, if you don't get in here, I'm going to take her and I'm going to go on. So she said, okay. So she got Papa off to work and got herself ready. And we took off to the hospital and Ronnie got to drive really fast through town, delivered a baby, whatever. So we got to the hospital and Mama stayed with me the whole, entire time. And I went in and had Susan and it was quite an experience for a young girl far away from home. And my mom and dad were still up the holler and it was about an hour and a half or 2 hours. But back then that was a long way for them to come. And so I called and told them later, and they did come and spend a night and get to see Susan. But I was there during the delivery, and Mama stayed with me. And then I stayed in the hospital, for 3 or 4 days and had Susan, this little baby girl, little cute baby girl. I didn't know what to expect because I was, had never had a baby before. But it was pretty awesome, and she was awesome, a little tiny thing. And Mama stayed with me, and then I went home from the hospital. Ronnie and Mama took me, and Mama came and stayed with me for a couple of weeks and helped me take care of Susan and kind of taught me what to do. And then my mom and dad came and spent a night and got to visit, and she brought me some quilts and some green beans and some vegetables and things from home. But it was difficult living away, and I know we passed through in a military town, and a lot of girls are away from home, and you don't get to be with your family when you have your babies. And it's really hard, but we have a lot of church people and friends that just pitched together, and Mama and Papa helped me. But it was my first stab at being a mom, and Susan was good. She was a good baby. It was a good experience. And so I just wanted to get on here for a minute and wish her a very happy birthday. It's been, a few years ago. I had much, light brown hair and less wrinkles, but it was a good experience, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being a mom. Later went on, had 2 other children, had Luke and then had Abby. But Susan was my first, and so I wanted to get on here and tell a little bit of the story and how we survived, and we got along great, and CL came home. First time, they had to locate him out in the field. He was in Germany, and they were out in the field, and the Red Cross had to go locate him and find him. So it actually was like about a week later before they could find where he was. The Red Cross helped, and they located him and told him that he was a father. And then by the time he wrote us or contacted or called, she probably was about a week and a half or 2 weeks old. And times were totally different back then. We couldn't FaceTime or, do anything like that, and had to wait like a week for the letter to get there and then a week for the answer to come back. And it was definitely a different trying time back during the Vietnam era. And we had to grow up quickly and become independent and learn to live. And so we had a good time. Susan and I lived by ourselves. And when she was about 6 months old, he got to come home for 30 days and visit. And then by the time he got out of the military, she was about 13 months old. And it was a little bit of an adjustment for them to get used to each other, but they did and survived. And I just want to wish her a happy birthday. I'm so proud of her and how she's grown up and the woman that she's become. And she's overcome a lot of adversities in her life and a lot of hard times and trials, but, kept faith in God and kept her relationship with the Lord. And that's what's most important. And that's what will see us through. Anybody trying to live, you have got to have a relationship with the Lord. You've got to know Jesus to survive in this world and in the world that is to come. And maybe not every girl from the holler goes through experiences like I did. A lot of babies are born in all kinds of different situations. But I thank God that I had the Lord and I had CL's mom, and she helped take care of me. And I just thank the Lord, and I'm proud of you, Susan, and happy birthday. And I got this video done and out. And so give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe. I'm going to be doing a little something different all the time. I want to go and do some things outside. I want to do a little bit more cooking. So just keep up with me and share from the holler to the world. And I'll share with you how we went from living in the housing project to being pastor, and just how the Lord has advanced us and protected us and kept us and given us such a good life. And I wouldn't have it any other way. We're blessed to live here and have the church and the people that are ours, family and friends, and that Susan doesn't live here, but we stay in touch and we have a good relationship. And I thank the Lord for that. So be blessed and come back and see me, subscribe, give me a thumbs up and share with your friends. And I will be back. God bless you.